If you just bought the M4 Mac Mini, I am genuinely sorry because Apple is about to make that machine look completely obsolete. Right now, there is a massive ghost town situation happening on Apple's online storefront. Try ordering a high-end Mac Mini configuration today, and you are going to see massive shipping delays, or worse, completely out-of-stock notices across major retail channels globally. At first, everyone thought this was just a standard industry supply chain hiccup, but the reality is much wilder than a simple component shortage. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Cupertino has quietly stopped pouring resources into the older inventory pipelines because they are aggressively prepping the official launch of the next-generation M5 Mac Mini workstation. They have been secretly binning these next-generation chips for months behind closed doors, and the performance metrics leaking out of the Asian supply chain are downright terrifying for anyone who just dropped serious cash on an M4 setup. Let's look at the actual data, because the numbers tell a fascinating story about what is happening behind the scenes. Reports from DG Times and the ELEC confirm that TSMC is facing an absolute logjam with their advanced 3nm wafer yields. But here is the twist that most tech commentators are completely missing. Apple isn't bottlenecked because of manufacturing failures or bad silicon designs. They are bottlenecked because enterprise developers and tech firms are buying up every single compact desktop Apple can physically manufacture to run localized artificial intelligence models directly on device. Tim Cook even admitted on a recent earnings call that global demand for these small form factor desktops completely caught their internal forecasting teams off guard. So instead of just struggling along with old stock and standard configurations, Apple is completely pivoting their desktop strategy. Industry analysts like Ming-Chi and Shrimp Apple Pro are pointing directly to a massive specification bump across the entire baseline lineup. The entry-level model is finally dropping the older, restricted storage configurations that have plagued the base model for years. The baseline version is moving to a standard 512GB solid-state drive, which means we are finally getting a massive bandwidth speed increase on the cheapest model, without needing to pay the infamous Apple tax just to get a usable everyday storage setup. But the real magic is happening under the hood with the actual silicon architecture itself. The standard M5 chip is moving to a brand new configuration featuring a 10-core central processor and an integrated 10-core graphics processor. Early Geekbench leaks floating around international tech forums show single-core scores crashing past the 4200 mark, with multi-core performance hitting over 17,000. To put that into perspective, this tiny 5x5-inch silver box is putting up raw synthetic numbers that beat out previous generation Pro and Max silicon found in professional machines that cost 3 times as much money. Honestly, I'll believe it when I see it running live in my own studio, but if these architecture upgrades hold true, the graphics performance alone is jumping roughly 45% over what we currently have on the market. For a machine that sits quietly on your desk and sips minimal power from the wall, that is an absurd leap in a single hardware generation. Are you planning to upgrade your desktop setup this year? Or are you holding on to your current machine until it completely dies? Drop a comment below because I'm really curious if this massive AI push is actually convincing everyday users to upgrade their hardware, or if people are just completely fine with their older M1 and M2 setups. Now, if you want to talk about true workstation performance, the M5 Pro variant is where things get absolutely ridiculous. Ross Young and internal sources over at Macotakara have been closely tracking the display and connectivity pipeline, and they are indicating that the M5 Pro model is officially locking in dedicated Thunderbolt 5 support. That means your external drive transfer speeds are about to skyrocket to unprecedented levels, which is a massive win for professional video editors, data scientists, and creative professionals handling multi-stream 8K workflows daily. The M5 Pro variant is rumored to ship with a massive 18-core Central processor and a redesigned graphics engine that pushes Geekbench compute scores past 140,000. It is also rumored to pack a brand new internal layout specifically engineered to handle the intense thermal load of sustained local execution of Apple Intelligence models. Instead of experiencing thermal throttling during heavy render segments, this new design utilizes a specialized heat dissipation array that keeps the clock speeds completely stable. Combine that with massive wireless upgrades like Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 6.0, and you are looking at a machine that ensures your entire connectivity pipeline stays fast enough to handle massive local network transfers without skipping a single beat. The only real catch with this entire ecosystem overhaul is the pricing structure. With the global tech industry currently dealing with steadily rising costs for high-density memory components, and the fact that Apple is doubling the base storage tier to 512 gigabytes, we are almost certainly looking at a noticeable price bump across the entire range. Industry insiders expect the baseline price to jump by at least $100. It definitely sucks to see the entry point rise, but given the sheer performance metrics and the professional-grade connectivity upgrades we are seeing, that extra premium might actually be justified this time around. Apple is clearly shifting their entire desktop strategy to dominate the local hardware processing space. And this new aluminum box is the spearhead of that entire movement. If you can hold off on buying a new machine for just a little bit longer, waiting for this next generation upgrade is easily the smartest choice you can make for your workspace.